Hey y'all, so I just had to come and make this TikTok because I could not sit on this. Um, and I definitely wanted to share with y'all. So I was watching B Simone, Megan Ashley, Know For Sure podcast earlier with the episode with Tim Ross. And I was just like thinking about some things they were talking about, specifically about how they have like, judgment of people in their comments, talking about the way they talk and the way things they say on their podcast, just different stuff that people nitpick at. And I was kind of just thinking about it in my mind, like my opinion on certain things. And the Lord reminded me of how in his when you read in the story of Jesus, like in Mark, Luke and John, um, Matthew, Mark, Luke and John, whenever Jesus called the disciples, like to follow him, he just said, "Follow me." That's literally it. He just said, "Follow me." He didn't tell them, "Oh, Peter, wait, you gotta, or Simon, you gotta do this first before you can follow me." He didn't say, "Oh, Matthew, you gotta do this before you follow me," or Levi. Um, he didn't say, uh, "James, you gotta do this XYZ before you follow me." He just said, "Follow me." And I think a lot of times we we don't recognize that, like or if we have came to that conclusion, we forget that God just wants us to follow him, and everything else will change as we go along. And that's the thing, like we forget that we're human. Everybody's not going to be perfect, and also what people choose to do or how they choose to respond in life or react in life, or the things they choose to do, if they choose to cuss or not and they claim to be a Christian, whatever, that's between them and their relationship with God. Just like God will convict you for something, he will convict them for whatever he feels necessary to convict them for. And quite frankly, he may not have convicted them of that, or personally, it may not be nothing wrong with that. So, like, yes, the word says what the word says, but people, it's important to have your own personal relationship with God. Because once you do that, everything else will follow. You will want to change once you follow God. Just like, and this was the big thing that really stood out to me, was the fact that once once Jesus asked the disciples to follow him, they personally chose to drop everything and follow him. He didn't tell them, "Oh, you got to stop doing this to follow me." They decided to stop doing whatever they wanted to do to follow Jesus. And that's the message in that. Like, in that, it's a message in that. Like, that's the thing right there. Like, once you follow Jesus and you have a personal encounter with Jesus yourself, you will want to change your ways. You will want to change certain things about yourself. God will start to work on you and minister to you. It's things that um we count as sin, or the word says it's sin, but you don't have to. We're all sinners. You don't have to be perfect to follow God. God just wants you to come, and then he will help work on things as time goes on. He Yes, he wants us to be holy. It says that, "Be ye holy for I am holy." But that's a process. That's a process. God works on us all in his timing. So I just was like, the whole thing about the disciples just following him when he said follow him, and the fact that he didn't tell them to, you have to stop having anger issues or stop doing this or stop doing that before they follow him, before he asked them to follow him. He just said follow them, and then they chose to let things let things go, or to stop doing certain things when they followed him. And even some of them still had some of the issues. Case in point, Peter was chopping people's ears off. So, I mean, like, Nobody's perfect. We're not called to be perfect. We're just called to follow him and seek him. So I hope that helps y'all. I hope that blesses somebody like it blessed me, because I was just in this car like, oh Jesus, it's so good. It's so good. But I hope that that blessed y'all like it blessed me.